Going to the World Cup and watching a couple of your former players, tell me about that experience.
Well, it's just incredible opportunity for myself, and obviously my family came with me, and just to sit back and be a fan and recognize all their growth as professional athletes. It was such a proud coaching moment. And then when Keisha scored, it was just like, are you kidding me? Nobody could have wrote it any better for that opportunity that I had. So it was awesome. I think all of us were so excited to see each other, and they were really excited that I was able to participate in that game and just sit there and be a fan.
Since that time, you guys have had a couple of more former players that have signed pro deals, right? I just saw Nia Gordon in France and Vanessa Flores too, right? To have that continue to see players moving on to play professionally after WVU, what kind of statement does that make about the program?
It's just that we can, help players achieve their goals and become professional players. And these signings aren't just little clubs. I mean, this is big deals, and just super excited that their hard work is paying off, but also that our culture and our staff has an opportunity to help them achieve their goals of being professional athletes and growing the game.
The Women's World Cup was huge. The TV ratings were amazing. The women's national team won it again. Have you felt a buzz around the sport here in the state?
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely. There's no question that it's the most popular sport for females, and I think that we got the press behind us, and that's so important. And it's just such an important aspect that people know how good the quality of women's soccer is, and what really drives that is success, but also media. And so I have been seeing media really following and pushing and getting behind the women and what they did in the World Cup.
So no pressure on us, right?
No pressure on us.
This year you guys are back at it. You're trying to defend another title, but you guys are a lot younger. I mean, you guys had a lot of freshmen last year, but this year I think 10 or 11 freshmen on the roster. Players going to have to step up immediately for you guys, right?
I think this year out of any other year, every year is a rebuilding year, but this is probably our biggest rebuilding year. And we do have high expectations from young players, and that's hard sometimes, but it's also a privilege, and that pressure. I know that, they signed to come to West Virginia for that opportunity, and we're going to be asking some young players to, fill some big shoes and do some big things against an incredible schedule this year.
Yeah, Big 12 is always tough. I mean, what kind of challenge are you guys up against this year as you are going to play with so many young players?
Yeah, I mean, obviously our second game of the season is Stanford. I'd be shocked if they weren't 1-2 in the country this year. So right there, right from the get-go, we're going to be challenged with one of the best teams in the country. So non-conference, we're going to be in the Lions' Den for sure. But we're gonna be asking them to eliminate a lot of mental mistakes and just be the best version of themselves every game day.
You guys always play tough opponents, though, at the beginning of the year, Coach. Again, is that what you want, to have that challenge up front so that these girls are
not this season,
but they're gonna wake up and see right away what you're up against?
For sure. I mean, you look at our schedule, and you can't hide from Stanford, Georgetown, Penn State, Virginia, Duquesne. I mean, all these opponents. We don't have anybody easy on our schedule, and our goal is always to become the best team at the end of the year, and the best lessons are learned with losses. Unfortunately, when you're in this business, you hate to lose, but we've definitely put ourselves in a position to get better and to really see who we are early.
So do you approach this year any differently than previous years in terms of developing those players and getting them to where you need them to be come the end of August?
Yeah, I think the art of coaching is doing that. And, I think I have to tweak things here and there, but I really have to understand, what this team is all about, and, where we have to be as a staff, but most importantly, I'm the head coach, and I got to drive it and just make sure that I'm the best coach to this team. And it is a young team, and to see what they're all about, and to make sure I get the best and maximize their potential.
So in terms of scoring, how you win games, right? In the past, it's been pretty clear who those goals are coming from. Last year, Hannah, Naya, Bianca. In previous years, Michaela, Bam, right? Is there a question in your mind now of where are we going to have that offensive generation?
I honestly hope we have a lot of versatility and a lot of parity in our attack. Of course, you look at junior Lauren Segala and you think, okay, Lauren, and she's had a big part of that and being a part of the attack. But, my hope is that you can't prepare for West Virginia and just shut down a Michaela or a Bianca. So, but I think there are some upperclassmen that will step up, and I think Lauren right now has the most experience, and our hope is that she finds the back of the net for us.
Is she a player that you want some of your younger players to look after, because she's somebody who did come in and make a pretty immediate impact?
Yeah, there's so much value to experience, and you'll hear coaches say it day in and day out. I could lead, but if we have internal leadership, it's so much stronger, and that's the same thing. Lauren's got to share her experiences because she's made mistakes, but she's also made some incredible plays for us and goals for us. So my hope is she shares those experiences and gets this young crew as experienced as her and as knowledgeable as she is.
Coach, those 9 seniors, I believe, who graduated last year. Is it possible to replace people like Bianca, or is it just, for these freshmen, be yourself and I guess make a name for yourself?
I think you guys hear me say this. You can't replace players. You can only hope that you replace the positions and what that position entails. But it's, I think there's attributes that Bianca present to us that we're always like, hey, look how competitive Bianca is, look how hardworking she is. But everybody's got talent and everybody's got grit. So we just hope that they could be the best version of themselves, but also look at Bianca and go, hey, you play a little bit like B, success can happen.
Is it still, to make the NCAA tournament, I guess it would be, 20 years in a row? Or?
Yeah.
Is that still the goal?
The goal is to make the NCAA tournament. I'm going to have our first team meeting. I'm looking forward to hearing what the girls have to say about goal setting. Obviously, all of them came here to win championships, so I would be in shock if none of them put that at the final destination.
The one big piece that you do return, Riley, how big is she going to be? And I guess how important, has her development been to this team?
It's huge. She and obviously Jade, another piece of our puzzle, upperclassmen who we hope will, score some goals for us and give us that experience as 2 seniors that have been through the program for 4 years. Riley experienced the NCAA final game. She was in the national championship game. So, we're going to rely heavily on her experience and her leadership, especially with a young back line, since we graduated 3 from that back line last year.
Coach, how hard is it to, I don't want to use the term replace, but you guys had one of the best back lines in the nation last season, and you've had really great defenders. How challenging is that now to find the next group of really great defenders and develop them here?
Yeah, it's going to be very challenging, and I think, Keisha was a great ambassador, coach, captain out there, and she was able to, mentor Bianca and Esther and, really in Vanessa, where that's what Riley's going to have to do. And I think that I am going to be challenged as the coach and make sure that this young group can step into one of the best back lines in the country, because that's what we were last year. The stats will tell you that. So there's going to be a lot of challenges, but my hope is that Riley really uses her experiences and steps up and really guides this back line.
Of all the seniors that graduated last year, 3 of them were starters in the back line that started every single game, including both center backs. Are you expecting a leadership role for Jordan Brewster, who was the freshman last year, to step up as almost sort of a veteran who started most
absolutely.
of those games?
We talked about that all spring and moving into this year. Her minutes are so vital for us, and her role and her growth and her maturity as a back. And her communication is going to be absolutely a huge piece of our platform of our success back there. So yes, to answer your question, very long-winded, Jordan Brewster's got to step it up.